With me today, I have the brand new 2020 Subaru Crosstrek. Now the Crosstrek is already one of the best subcompact SUVs on the road today due to the way it looks, how comfortable the inside is, and that phenomenal symmetrical all-wheel drive system. But Subaru decided to make the Crosstrek even better for this year by making Eyesight standard across all trims and also adding more standard features overall. So, is this the right subcompact SUV for you? Well, keep watching and find out.
I want to give a big shout out to the Auto Barn Subaru in Countryside. They made this video possible, so if you're in the market for a brand new or used Subaru, then definitely check out this dealership. Their URL is on the screen and in the description below. The Subaru Crosstrek is unlike any other subcompact SUV on the market today due to its wagon-like profile and its generous 8.7 inches of ground clearance. The front end has that Subaru look with a large grille in the middle and a large lower bumper opening that's covered with cladding. Lower trims receive halogen headlights and fog lights, while the limited and hybrid trims receive LED steering responsive headlights and LED fog lights. On the side, you see big roof rails on top and you can opt for crossbars. All trims receive either 17-inch alloy wheels or 18-inch alloy wheels, although the hybrid receives lightweight wheels along with lower rolling resistant tires. There's a lot of black cladding all around the wheel fenders and rocker panels. The back end has a low and wide profile, and there is a spoiler on top along with a large privacy glass. Now, the trunk of the Crosstrek is wide and has a low lift in height. However, that's pretty much it. There's no cubby holes or nets or hidden storage for your things. Underneath the bottom cover, you have a spare tire with tools. On top, you have a privacy cover. There is one engine to the Crosstrek for the non-hybrid trims, and that is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine pushing 152 horsepower along with 145 pound-feet of torque. Now the hybrid Crosstrek gets a pair of engines, one gas and one electric. Inside the Crosstrek, there's a lot of contrast besides the base trim. The Limited I'm reviewing today has leather seats and door panels that have white and black leather along with orange stitching. There is one set of car seat latches on each side, and in total you get 4 cup holders in the second row. Unfortunately though, there are no vents, no USB ports, or any ports of any kind. To fold down the seat back, simply pull on the knob on top. Despite the fact that the Crosstrek is a subcompact SUV, there is still a good amount of room in the second row. I'm 5'10" and I have a good 3 to 4 inches of legroom left. And the same with headroom. The seats, however, are not adjustable. Up front, the seats have that same unique contrast, and that sporty design carries into the door panels, and the orange stitching gets carried into the dash, steering wheel, and also the shifter. The steering wheel has a great modern look and is shared with the rest of the Subaru family. The leather feels great and the overall thickness is just perfect. On the right side, you have buttons for the adaptive cruise control, also buttons for the SI drive, which is new for 2020, which changes the throttle response. On the left, you have buttons to control the volume, the source, your phone, and also an info button, which allows you to scroll through the upper screen above the infotainment screen. Lastly, you have a few buttons on the lower left side which scroll through the info screen within the gauge cluster. For 2020, all CVT-equipped Crosstreks get Eyesight included. Eyesight includes pre-collision braking, lane departure and sway warning, lane keep assist, and adaptive cruise control. On the limited and hybrid trims, you also get blind spot detection with rear cross traffic alert along with reverse auto braking. As for infotainment, there is either a 6.5-inch Starlink system or an 8-inch Starlink system like you see here. They are all compatible with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The system is pretty easy to navigate through with large buttons. However, there was a few times where it did lock up on me. The volume and tuning knobs are physical, and there are quick access buttons for radio, maps, and apps. As for climate control, all trims in 2020 receive auto climate function along with the usual functions such as fan control, defroster, and so forth, and that's all controlled with 3 large knobs. Underneath that, you get a pair of USB ports along with a 12V outlet. Inside the armrest, you also get another pair of USB ports and a 12V outlet. The shifter is a standard one and there is manual shifting available. In this limited, there is 2-stage heated seats. There's also a X mode for optimal traction when needed. On top, you have HomeLink buttons underneath the rearview mirror, buttons for SOS, info, buttons to turn off some of the safety features, and finally controls for the sunroof.
All right, it's time to go for a drive. Let's see how this Crosstrek is on the roads. Right off the bat, I want to make a quick note about this infotainment and dash layout, which I'm a big fan of because I already reviewed a brand new Outback and Legacy, which has the huge 11.6-inch multimedia screen, and that had everything integrated inside, including climate control. Now this one is the same one as the Forester. It's an 8-inch screen, it has a dual screen setup, and climate control is separated. I gotta say, I like this setup much better. I know Subaru wants to impress people with the larger screen in the Outback and the Legacy, but you know what? Things get cluttered up. You know, everything integrated and climate control through it. I'm not a fan of just touch screen climate control. So I think this layout is much better. It's easier. It's less confusing. And also, since I'm talking about the inside, I just want to make a comment on just the overall cabin. This is the limited trim, so you do have this leather throughout, but I like the way that Subaru has this contrast in here. You know, with the seats, the white, the black, and also the orange stitching. And the orange stitching is throughout the cabin on the steering wheel and the dash and the door panels. I like that. It gives it a younger vibe to this Crosstrek, right? This is one of the things I like about Subaru. They're appealing to the younger crowd. And, you know, some other manufacturers are pretty conservative. So it just kind of like, you know, you get all black inside and that's pretty much it, right? That's not the way with Subaru. And I think that's the right way to go. So in terms of sound insulation, I don't hear much from the engine, from the wind noise, road noise, nothing. It's really quiet in here. And that's really good. This reminds me a lot of the new Forester, which to me is one of the best compact SUVs on the road today, if not the best. I was truly blown away when I drove the Forester. This reminds me of that because of how quiet it is. It is really quiet, and how comfortable it is overall. Now the steering is also really good. I really like the steering. It has a good, precise feel, not very heavy, but very precise, meaning there's no play at all. Just like this, you could feel it. I could feel the Crosstrek moving. So absolutely no play in the steering wheel, and it has the right heft to it. It's a very slight heaviness to it, but I enjoy that. And overall, the steering is, I think, phenomenal. Now, as for my driving position, seating position, it's good. It reminds me of like almost like an Outback, where this is kind of like a wagon, not so much like an SUV, but you do get a lot of ground clearance. So it reminds me of that. A little bit higher than a sedan, but I'm not nearly as high as a SUV. So you're like right there. I think the seats are really good. The bolstering is a little bit light, so I don't feel like it's really holding me in, but I'm not sliding around. I think the seats are very comfortable. The windshield visibility overall is actually pretty good. Windshield is huge. Side mirrors are very big. Now, in terms of the blind spot, a little bit. The C-pillar gets in your way a little bit, but luckily on this one, you do have blind spot monitoring. The rear windshield, very good. The rear headrests do not get in the way. They're on the side, so you can see it clearly out the back. So that's pretty good. One small complaint about this rear view mirror is I tried to adjust it, and you guys could see, like, you can't get your fingers in there, right? You have to actually go over here to adjust it, or adjust it from the bottom. So that's just a little quirk, I guess. Acceleration was so-so. Because this is a natural aspirated engine, you don't get that instant torque. But I felt like I actually got up to speed in a decent time. The engine didn't make a lot of noise, and I think the CVT transmission that's mated to this engine actually did a pretty good job. Okay, so now I'm coming across this freeway that gets pretty bumpy. A lot of imperfections, a lot of dips and bumps and patches. So let's see how this suspension is. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive indeed. I mean, there's a lot of cars that really struggle with this freeway, where I feel a lot, and this Crosstrek is doing a really good job at soaking up the bumps. So in terms of suspension, yeah, it's really good. It's really good in this Crosstrek. I'm actually really impressed. The CVT transmission is also doing a phenomenal job at simulating shifts, which is kind of weird, but a lot of manufacturers do that. It kind of removes the drone, and it just makes it feel more natural. And I gotta say, right now, this Crosstrek's transmission is doing a really good job. I can't tell. I really can't tell this is a CVT. As for brakes, they come on a tad strong. So about the first inch or so, you don't get a lot of feedback. And then afterwards, you'll feel it quite a bit, and the car comes to a stop pretty fast. It's not stiff or anything, but it just comes on really strong. So that's something that you got to get used to. But overall, it's not bad.
As for trim levels and pricing, the Crosstrek's base trim starts a tad above $22,000, but it comes with a 6-speed manual. For those of you guys that are looking for a CVT transmission, the price gets bumped up about $1,300. Remember, all trims come with the same engine, the same symmetrical all-wheel drive system, Eyesight safety suite, and auto climate control. Next, you have the premium trim, which adds on some niceties such as heated seats, leather-wrapped steering wheel, more USB ports, and Wi-Fi. After that, you have the limited trim, which is what I reviewed today. You get leather, bigger wheels, bigger Starlink screen, and other things. Lastly, you have the hybrid, which has a different engine configuration, different wheels and tires to improve fuel economy, and a few other things on the inside. But the hybrid is limited, so you're not going to find much around at the dealerships. Lastly, let's look at the good and bad to this brand new Crosstrek. Starting with the good. On the outside, it has a unique lifted wagon look. The all-wheel drive and Eyesight is standard. With the Crosstrek, you get great steering wheel and phenomenal steering feel. The Crosstrek provides a quiet and very comfortable ride. The dual info screen setup works really well. And lastly, the Crosstrek has a good-looking cabin and comfortable seats. As for the bad, there are a few things. There's no amenities whatsoever in the second row. There's no hidden storage or cubby holes in the trunk. The rear view mirror can be hard to adjust. And finally, the CVT bumps up the price on the base and premium trims. Overall, I'm giving the brand new Crosstrek a score of 91. And if you want to see how it compares with its peers, then check out driversonlyrankings.com. Thanks for watching this, guys. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check out these other videos.